Welcome into this episode of Coach's Corner. Jordan Woodruff with you. Great to have you along. This episode brought to you by Ponca Finance and Winco. And we're joined today by Beth Graves, cheer coach. And how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Well, looking forward to talking to you. This is the first time I think we've got a chance to talk.
It is, yes.
So let's first start off that regional, state, things like that.
Yes.
So get us caught up with what happened there.
We went to regionals for the first time in a very long time. We advanced to state. We made it to state. We did not advance into anything higher. We didn't place in the top 3, which is fine. It's the first time in a long time, and we need to get some experience under our belts. We still have that bid to nationals, but unfortunately, I don't think we're going to take them to nationals just so we can get that kind of under our belts. Like, let's do state and regionals for a little while, and then once we get some of those state titles, we'll head to nationals.
And that's the thing coming in. Do you think that you took a considerable step forward with your program this year?
Absolutely, and the backing of the administration here has been amazing.
Well, that's great to hear. So what's it like when you take that next step? So, like, what do you have to do, and what did you do to take that step? And I know the benefits and not the work part is regionals and state, but what do you do to have to take that step in cheer?
I think that just, getting these girls ready and focused and determined to go back onto the mat to compete is a really big step. Just coming together as a team and working towards the same goal. Yeah.
Well, tell us what, on competition-wise, what they're looking at. We think about the Steppers program here, of course, and the big history they have. With cheer, I mean, you'd love to create something along that lines, but talk about, in the competition, what they're looking for and what you're doing in those competitions.
We're looking for, showmanship. We're looking for hitting all of your stunts. The level of difficulty for your stunts, for your tumbling, for those toe touches, the level of those toe touches, for some standing tumbling. So it's just a combination of a lot of things, and your sharpness, your smile, like I said, your presentation with your face, and all of the things. And your vocals have to be really loud.
Yeah, and one thing, here in the state of Oklahoma, you have some great cheer programs in the college level.
Yes.
And I don't know if, you have worked with any of those, or you can have one of those come up and talk about, but there's some really good cheer programs in colleges across the state.
Yes, there is. We actually I got to meet O'Neill, who was the spirit coordinator for OU, and he was a really big help in helping gear towards that. When we went to our coaches meeting this summer, he kind of headed that up, and we got to communicate and got to know one another. And so I'm really looking forward to the scouts that are going to start seeing these girls come up.
Yeah, and that's the next thing. There's a lot of opportunity for them to go on and further a college career with cheer. And, there's things that can help you out academically with that sometimes I think people sleep on. They just look and say, oh, it's cheer. Yes. But especially when you're doing the competitive stuff, once again, these colleges are looking for those that can help them go win national championships.
Absolutely.
So, and we got big stuff coming up too. You got like mini steppers, cheer, all this different stuff that's going on. So talk about some of the big things you got coming up later on this semester.
We have mini steppers coming up at the end of the month. That's going to be our pink out game, so come support those. We have a late sign up coming up on this Thursday from 5 to 7 at the Robson. I love getting to work with little kids. I was a stepper, and I was also a cheerleader, but I was a stepper. I finished out my high school career as a stepper. So I got to see both sides of it, doing the mini cheer and the mini steppers, and I absolutely love working with those kids, and it's amazing. I feel like that's one of the biggest rewards, is like having those parents come up to you and be like, you planted a seed with my child. And like, that's all you want to hear. Like, if you can plant one seed in the community for a girl to say, hey, that's what I want to do whenever I get older, it makes it all worth it.
What's the relationship, because, I mean, you kind of got to go with one, right? Steppers, cheerleaders, you understand because you were both. I guess there could be some competition, but at the same time, you do work together as well. So talk about what that relationship's like, because it is unique in Ponca, where a lot of people have their cheer program and maybe a dance team. Sometimes the cheer program is the big thing. Here, the steppers are kind of the big thing because of the history that they have.
Yes, with the history that the steppers had, which is outstanding. Love Kristen Smith. She was an amazing coach, mentor. I still can call on her if I need any advice. But I believe the difference is just like the structure that we do things, like they're more military based. Right. If you could if you have to put them in categories, whereas we're more like game day spirit. And that's not to say that the Steppers don't have spirit, because they're amazing. They're an amazing group of girls, and they're lovely.
Yeah.
I've gotten to know some of them, but I just think that it's a really interesting dynamic here. I just love both programs.
Yeah.
They're just amazing.
Well, and I would imagine with girls, you guys want to get together and say, hey, make the decision that you think's best for you first and foremost. So it's just interesting because you feel like there would be a lot of competition, but that's not necessarily the case. You're trying to work together for the best for the kids.
Yes, absolutely. And the girls, they all get along. They all know one another, and so that's really good too. That helps out a lot. And a lot of the girls are like, hey, they talk, and they're like, hey, we're going to do this. What do you guys think about this? So they bounce ideas off of each other as athletes, and I think it's amazing to watch.
Yeah, and that's the thing is the Steppers and Cheer program, they're athletes.
Yes,
they're not necessarily, maybe some places, some people are like, cheerleaders aren't athletes, and I've heard that before, and I'm like, let me take you down, when I was at Oklahoma State, take you to a practice, and there's more knee injuries and stuff than maybe a football practice a lot of times.
Yes.
And these people are as athletic as anybody on the campus. So people that say that just don't know. They should go and watch a practice and see what's going on.
We are quite literally lifting other athletes who are just as lean and just as muscular as we are, and you're stunting with those girls every day, and you're tumbling, you're throwing things that are insane. And we run the risk of concussions just like football. We have shoulder injuries just like football. So these girls are extremely athletic, and they are an amazing group of girls that I have.
So you took what you thought was one big step for the program. So what's the next step, and what's ultimately the goal?
The goal would be to bring in those national championships.
And what's it take to do that? Because, it's tough.
It is tough.
There's so many great cheer programs here in Oklahoma, but around the country there's so many. And then the national championships kind of let you go to some cool locations as well.
Yes, I believe Disney World is the big one that everybody tries to go to, and that would be our end goal. Again, it's just going to take getting some of this state and regionals underneath our belt. Let's bring home some state titles for a few years, and then let's take that next step to nationals.
All right, one more thing to mention. You're going to have a golf tournament that's coming up, and that's going to be a big fundraiser. So talk about that and how people can be a part of that.
We are doing a golf tournament. It's going to be Halloween-based because, it's never been done before. It's going to be so fun. I think that you can get involved by sponsoring a hole for $100. It's a $100 player or $400 team.
Okay.
There's just a lot of opportunities in this town, and this town supports all of the sports so well. And I had coached in Blackwell before, and they're an amazing group of people too. But I grew up here. My parents were from here, and so once a Wildcat, always a Wildcat. And so I knew that I wanted to come home to coach eventually.
Halloween themed golf.
Yes.
So what does that mean as far as some of the ideas that you have for this?
Okay, so this year we are going to do what we've seen it before in the past, where the players, they decorate their cart or whatever. My girls are going to get to judge those carts based off of that. The girls and myself will all be in theme. We'll be dressed in Halloween costumes, and it'll be fun. There'll be the different games on the course. Next year, I would like to lean into it a little bit more and do something that I can't recall that has ever been done here in Ponca before, which is a glow-in-the-dark tournament, where it's still going to be Halloween-based. We're going to have, like, the black lights, the glow sticks, and I know that they make golf balls that glow in the dark. And so I think that leaning into that, which is something that is unique and hasn't been done here before with the sport-wise, I think that it'll be really fun for the community to get involved in.
Yeah, you can have a trick-or-treat hole, like we're going to have some kind of trick on the course unless you give the treat of money to help our program or something, right? You can do that. The other thing I like in golf tournaments, I'd like to see somebody do it here, is the heckle hole. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
So I saw a group that did this. They had a couple of guys that they had, and it was all clean humor, but they were heckling people on the course while they were putting or hitting on the tee.
Okay.
And to make them stop heckling you, you had to pay them.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, so something like that. I've always wanted to see something like that happen, because you can get pretty creative with some of the heckling.
Well, yeah, and that would be really good for my cheerleaders, because they're used to doing it during like free throws and stuff like that. Yeah, basketball. So that's a really good idea.
Maybe something, I'll try to help out where I can.
Yes.
On that. So anything else you want to get to before we let you go?
No, I think that was it. I appreciate your time so much.
No, thank you so much, and appreciate Beth being with us. This episode has been brought to you by Ponca Finance and Winco. And Coach, appreciate it. We'll talk to you again here soon.
Thank you.
All right, that'll do it. Thanks to Chris behind the camera. As always, Jordan Woodruff saying so long, and until next time, go Cats.